Hey guys, okay, so today what we're going to do is look through some Linux tutorials. So basically, when you're with the Raspberry Pi, what you can do is type into the command line. So, like you see on the hacking videos and hacking movies where there's lots of code going on in the background. So, basically, this is what I'm going to teach you the basics of today. So, you will be able to learn about this, and then you can develop that a bit further on with more advanced commands as you go. I'll just teach you the basics today so you can start working with your Raspberry Pi and installing different things. So like the packages from the code, and you can start working with the sensors. Okay, so I've got my notes here. So if I look over here, I'm looking at my notes. So the first thing I'm going to say is the difference between the command line on the Linux-based operating systems. So that's including your Mac computers. So there's lots of different operating systems, but most people will be either using a Mac, the Raspberry Pi, the Raspbian OS, which is what you're going to use for the Raspberry Pi. And also you've got the Windows command line. Okay, so for the Windows command line, it's if I just show you this, basically this is what you're going to open up. So if you go into Windows and you go on the bottom left on the start button and the search, you'll be able to type in command prompt. So command prompt is basically the command line for Windows. But command prompt is a bit different from what we're doing today. So I might do a different video on that, but you don't need to know Windows for Raspberry Pi because it's based on Linux, okay? So Linux operating system. So what I'm going to show you today is I'm on my Mac OS, but this is totally transferable to the Raspberry Pi. So this is the first tutorial, okay, on this. So let's get going. Okay, so the first command that I'm going to show you is pwd, okay? So pwd stands for print working directory. Okay, so print working directory is like I want to know where I am in my computer system. Okay, so if I run this command, you can see it gives me the full path of where I am in the system. Okay, so that's really important when you're trying to find where you are, trying to find different files, when you're setting paths. So if you're setting a path on the Raspberry Pi configuration file, you might need to know where it is. You might need to look where a certain picture or JPEG is on, and then link that to your code. Okay, so that's the aim of that. Okay, the other thing that you can do is ls. So ls in Linux means list. So if I press that, basically that lists all of the files that are in that directory. So I've only got one file, that's sendmessage.py at the moment, but you can have lots of different files, and then you can basically list those files, right? So that's what that means. You can, if I want to make a file, I can do mkdir, okay, and then give it the name, so folder, example. So what that command is going to do, make a new file. So make dir, and then if I don't know if you remember this, ls. So ls lists the file. So basically there, what you can see is my file from before, and now a folder has been added. All right. So that's what's going on there. So if I want to basically go into my folder, I can cd. So cd means to go into. So folder example. So I'm typing this out, but another trick that you can use is if I type F and then hit the tab key, it's going to autofill. So that'll save you loads of time when you're working with the command line. All right, so I'm going to cd into that folder. So, and then I can ls to see what's inside. Okay, and there's nothing inside. Okay, so because I've just made it. If I want to remove the file, so it's the same thing. So I can rm for remove and then dir. Okay, so that is going to remove the directory. Directory is just like a file. So removing the dir, it's asking which one because I've not done the name. So I need to put the name in there. What did I call it? Oh, because I'm inside the folder. So what you need to do, because I'm inside the folder there, basically I can't delete it. You need to go back. Okay, so you need to be in the one level above where you are. Okay, or below, one level back basically. So what I can do is do the CD again and CD backwards. All right, so I'm going to CD backwards, and that's going to take me back to the folder that contains that folder example. So then I can remove it. So rm dir and then folder example. So then this is going to take away that folder, and that's not going to exist anymore. Okay, so I've removed that, and let's try and see if it's there. It's not there anymore because I've removed it with the rm command, rmdir. Okay, so that's that. All right, another thing I can do is make a file from here. So I can do touch, which is Linux for make, and then I could do like example.py, which is a Python file. So if I make that, then basically I ls, that's made that file. So that for files, individual files, we're going to use touch. For folders, it's mkdir. Okay, so that's what's going on there. All right, let me just have a look. What's next? Okay, so if I want to remove a file, okay, so rm is what I use to remove a file. So I can't use remove dir because that's removing a folder. Okay, so if I tried that with my example, just using the tab there, I told you, this is going to give me, because it's not a directory, it's an actual file. All right, so what I'm going to do is just type in rm and then put the file at the end. So rm example, and that deletes the file. Okay, so that's deleted my file. I can check that, ls, and it's gone. All right, so that's basically that. So we've got touch. Okay, if I want to get some help, okay, I can check the manual. So maybe instead of that, I can do -- help. Finding it. So working. There we go. So help, basically, can you see we've got pwd that we used before, print working directory. You've got lots of different things there, okay? So you can use help to basically find different information about the commands, all right? So another thing that you can do, if you want to change a file, so I'll just type in clear, and that will clear my screen, okay? If I want to basically copy a file from, so for example, if I wanted to make a very similar file, but with small changes, so for example, if I was doing one version of a Raspberry Pi program, like making some lights come alight, and then maybe I had another example which had a few more lights added on, I might want to adapt that file. So if I'm adapting a file, I don't want to rewrite it all again because that's just going to waste so much time. So what I can do is copy, okay? So make a copy of it. So if I want to make a copy of send message, okay, I can make a copy of that. And I think I need to give it a second. So copy send message 2. Okay, so now if I ls, okay, so that's copied the contents of that into that new file. But here, for the second parameter, I needed to, it told me, it was basically telling me here, I need a target file. Okay, so this was my target file, the send message 2. So that was the new name for the new file that I gave it. Here, we can it's also telling us that we can have a target directory. So if I add on the end a folder that I want it to go into, then I can do that as well. So this is where the PWD comes in, because you can find out where you want to send it. So that is basically the path which you would need to put in the directory. But don't worry about that too much for now. We'll just keep it pretty simple. Okay, so another one that you can do is MV, which is move. Okay, so there are lots of different commands that we can use, but those are the basics that you might want to do for your Raspberry Pi. So just have a practice of that. Get going. So basically, if you want to learn different commands, or if there's something you want to do on the command line but you don't know how to do it, you can just search like Google or any search engine that you want, and type in what you want to do, and then put command and then Linux in the search. So, for example, if I forgot how to do the copy, so I could type in copy Linux command line, and then it would give me some information about that. So there's so much on the internet that basically covers all of this. So you can go and search for specific things, and that will super help you out. All right, but these are really essential. We were working on some projects today with the Raspberry Pi, trying to get it set up for next week, and we had to configure files. So it's really important, if you want to learn about the Raspberry Pi and you want to do it properly and build your own bigger projects, you need to be able to follow this, and you need to be able to follow you need to be able to do the Linux commands, because without it, you're just going to have very simple projects. But with this, you've got all the tools you need to make like robots and anything you like. So hopefully this was useful. So if you have any questions, put the comments in, like and subscribe. All right, see you guys.